Okay.
The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Hello everyone, and thank you for attending our Preparing for Your Exchange at Quest webinar. My name is Will Prescott, and I'm the Coordinator of International Student Services here at Quest, and I've been working at Quest for the last 2 years. And one of my favorite parts of my role is getting to work with the incoming exchange students every year. You can type in questions at any point during the webinar, and we'll try our best to answer them. If you have a question that's really specific to you, please email or call me with that, and we'll try it because we want to keep today's webinar's content relevant to the wider exchange group. We're excited by the incredible diverse campus that we have here at Quest. We learn more from our differences, and you'll find class discussions and projects. Living in residence is enriched by having such a diverse community with different ideas and perspectives. We have students from over 47 different countries on campus and staff and faculty who have lived, worked, and studied all over the world. We are thrilled that you'll be joining us in the fall. You'll get to experience a challenging and wonderful academic program. You'll make some lifelong connections with students on our very global campus, and you'll enjoy a variety of adventures in the most beautiful province in Canada. The webinar today, I'm just going to cover a lot of logistics surrounding your exchange at Quest. Again, it's interactive, so if you have any questions, type them in at any time. So I'll talk for about 10 minutes, and then I'm going to pass things over to Judith. Judith is one of our wonderful exchange students from AUC, and she was here for the spring term and loved it so much that she stayed on for a June block. So we'll look forward to hearing from her in a bit. So we'll just start off with talking about your arrivals. So, as you hopefully know from by now, check-in for exchange students, you arrive on Wednesday, August 31st, and you can check into your room at any time between 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. If you are coming via the airport and would like a Quest shuttle up to campus, please arrive before 1 p.m. to the Vancouver International Airport because we won't have any shuttles after 1 p.m. So it'd be ideally you can be arriving by about noon so that you can clear immigration by 1 p.m. And just so you know, our first session for orientation on August 31st is at 4 p.m. When you get up to campus, if you're coming by yourself, please come to the library building. So that's the main building on the top of the hill. Just come through the entrance, follow the signs, and you'll be greeted by myself at a table, and you'll be able to get settled in, get your keys, and be shown to your room. And then you basically have the day until 4 p.m. to kind of settle in and start meeting some of the floor reps and people around. One thing that just to note is you might need to bring your own bed sheets. We do have some from former exchange students who have donated their bed sheets, so we do have some that you can borrow for the term, but we don't have all 10 sets for everybody, so some of you may need to get your own sheets. I'm trying to work on a system right now where you'd be able to rent bed sheets, and I'll keep you updated on the Facebook page. But if you don't have bed sheets for the first night, we can definitely help you out, but we just might not be able to give you sheets for the full term. And look out for updates on the Facebook page. One of the exciting things about being an exchange student in the spring is that you're actually part of 2 different orientations. The international orientation, which is for incoming exchange students as well as incoming international students, so first-year international students, starts on Wednesday, August 31st, and that goes for 2 days. And the purpose of international orientation is simply to get over jet lag, get settled in. You'll have a chance to go into town to buy any groceries or supplies that you might need. You'll get a chance to visit our Reuse It Center, which is our on-campus thrift store where students upcycle and reused items. So you might be able to find some great kitchenware there, potentially some good clothes, coat hangers, and other kind of household items that you need. And we'll also have a lot of chance over those 2 days to build community. So you'll get to know some of our floor reps, which are our elected student leaders on each floor. You'll get to know some of our international students who are first-year students and other students on campus. So it's a great time to build community, get over jet lag, and get settled in. On Friday, September 2nd, all our North American incoming students come to the campus and they check in, and then our all-student orientation starts up. So you can expect that the campus will start becoming a little bit busier on the Friday with students arriving. And on the Saturday, Sunday is when our returning students come back. So by Saturday, September 3rd, we should have relatively a full campus, and there'll be different events going on throughout that weekend to help build community and also orientate the students. One notable event is on the Saturday, September 3rd, we have our convocation, which is a welcome ceremony that you will take part in. And basically, it's a welcome ceremony during which students will be greeted by our university faculty and administration and will recite the honor pledge. So it's a really neat event. You're encouraged to dress smart casual for it, and it's a great way to kind of get inducted into our university. And then at the end of the weekend, the first day of class is on Monday, September 5th. And being in the block system and under the intense block system is they do jump in very quickly. So you may have Sunday night readings on September 4th. Tutors will often send an email on the Sunday before the block starts at around 5 p.m. with any homework or readings that you have for the next day. So it's important to be aware of that and budget that into your first weekend here at Quest. In terms of housing, exchange students are required to have a single room in the Peaks. So that's our beautiful residences of OSA and Red Tusk. And you have a single room with an adjoining washroom. So you would share a washroom with another student. They're absolutely beautiful residences. Each floor has a common kitchen, which is a great area to get to know other students and to mingle and to cook dinners. Pretty much every room has an incredible view of the mountain ranges, and sometimes you get these amazing sunsets just from your room. And each floor is mixed with both returning and incoming students. So it's a good variety of students on each floor. In terms of your interest, OSA each res has some really great common areas. So OSA has a beautiful dance studio and yoga studio. So if you're into yoga or dancing, you may prefer to live in OSA to have access to that space. And OSA also has a multi-faith room and a Lumen room, which is a gender, sex, and sexuality room and a great resource center. Red Tusk, which is basically right adjacent to OSA, has an arts bay. If you're into art, that's a great place to get together with students and create art. And it also has a recording studio, a 24-hour recording studio. So again, if you're into music, that's a great resource to have on campus. You are required to have a minimum of a half meal plan. And so we have a cafeteria and a cafe on our campus. We are relatively small. So the cafeteria is open from 7 a.m. to 7:30 p.m. every day. And there's a good mix of food and they often have daily specials. For example, on Tuesdays they have sushi and other great dishes each day. And the coffee shop is located in the atrium, which is the main library building where you go to check in. And it's open during the day, and it has a lot of great raw food as well as different, smoothies and coffees or whatever you need. And you can purchase all those items with your half meal plan, which will go on your student card. The single room, it costs 3,500 Canadian for the term, and a half meal plan costs $1,312. And the invoice will be sent out from Sharon Harris this summer. And I have instructions on how to pay your invoice on the portal, which we'll get to later. If you run out of meal plan money, you can add more during the year. You can also choose to have a full meal plan or 3/4 of a meal plan. I often recommend for exchange students start with the half, and if you need more, you can add up as the year goes on because you don't get reimbursed. If you have any money left out on your meal plan at the end of the year, you don't get that back. So I recommend do the minimum of a half, and you can always build up. And in terms of housing, at this point, what you need to do is you just complete your web profile on StarRez and send in your enrollment confirmation form. A quick note about Riverside or Swift Creek, because I have sent out an email about this. Though exchange students are required to live in the Peaks, if they can find a spot in Riverside and Swift Creek, we do encourage that they can live there. Riverside and Swift Creek are shared condos and apartment style living, which you would live with 5 other upper year students. So generally our 3rd and 4th year students live there. In Riverside and Swift Creek, you share a double room with another student, so you do have a roommate. It costs $3,400 for the term, and there are no meal plan requirements. You don't need to purchase the meal plan in Riverside, though you can choose to if you would like. It's currently full. They're very popular residences, particularly around our 3rd and 4th year students. But if you're interested in living there, please send me an email, will.prescott@questu.ca, and I'll add you to the wait list. And sometimes we find that spots do open up closer to the beginning of the term, and then we would use your web profile and contact the condo mates to see if it would be a good fit. So this, for the spring term, we managed to get, I think, 2 or 3 of our exchange students down there, and they really enjoyed it. So if you are interested in that, please email me, and if not, you'll get a wonderful room in the Peaks. And just a few other logistics surrounding your exchange. All exchange students are required to have health insurance. So you all will be automatically enrolled in our Guard.me health insurance plan. It provides comprehensive coverage, and I will post a summary of this is available on the portal. And it costs $250 for the term. If you already have private health insurance that will cover you while you are in Canada, you can opt out of Guard.me on StarRez by logging on, going to your web profile, and your 2016-2017 application, and it should be on step 11 of the toolbar at the top. We're having a few technical issues with it, so don't go do that today, but over the next few days it should be available. And you would basically go on to StarRez, you can opt out of the plan by putting in your private health insurance information, and once I receive the confirmation email, I will cancel your plan and reverse the charges on your account. And you need to opt out by September 13th, or else you'll be stuck with the bill and having to have Guard.me insurance. So again, I will post reminders to the Facebook page as we go throughout the summer, but just make sure if you do have private health insurance, you need to opt out, and if you don't need to do anything, and when you arrive here, you'll have your health card ready to go. On immigration, exchange students coming for 6 months or less do not require a study permit to enter Canada. You'll basically just need a valid passport that does not expire while you are here, and you'll need your official letter of acceptance, which I'll email out in early July. So just make sure you have that official letter from Quest and your passport, and you should be good to go. You will also need to apply for an electronic transit authorization or a temporary resident visa. If you're a citizen of Sweden, Germany, or the Netherlands, you'll need the electronic transit authorization, so the ETA. This is a new requirement by Canada. You can apply for the ETA online. It only costs $7, and it's generally processed within minutes of you applying, and it will allow you to have multiple entries linked to your passport into Canada, and it's issued up to 5 years or when your passport expires, whatever comes first. Again, I will be posting the reminders to the Facebook page to make sure that you are all ready for your trip to Canada. And because they are bringing this ETA in September, there is a bit of wiggle room, but I still highly recommend that you apply for it and get it. It's super easy and fast and cheap. So that's basically the immigration requirements. Let me know if you have any questions on that. Oh, and I skipped ahead a step. All right. And I just have a few more slides, and then we're going to turn things over to Judith. I made a slide about life as a Quest student. One thing I always try to stress to the exchange students is the block plan can be very intense and it take some time for you to adjust to the fast pace of the block plan. As I mentioned earlier, be prepared to jump right in, and that includes having readings the Sunday night before class starts. It might also mean having papers, projects, or exams within the first week of school. You might even have all 3. Be prepared for a heavy workload. You're required to go to class every day. It's 3 hours of class every day and 6 to 8 hours of homework or group work a night. So it is an intense workload, but the students often say you get so much more out of your courses in the system. And Judith will share her experience under the block plan. The campus life, it's vibrant here at Quest, and there's tons of extracurricular activities and events to do and to go to and to attend. So my biggest advice is make sure you get involved. It's a very open campus, and So if you put yourself out there, you're going to have a really good time, and there's many really cool opportunities to experience while on exchange here at Quest. We have a variety of clubs and groups, including the Adventure Club, which runs a trip on all your block breaks. So every month they run a trip on the block break, and I know our exchange students in the spring went on many of those trips. And some of those trips might include camping, in Tofino, or camping in one of our provincial parks in Squamish, or going to the hot springs up in Pemberton. So they're really interesting events and a great way to see the area. There's also intramurals every night. So if you're into sports, we have soccer, volleyball, ultimate frisbee, something's going on most nights. There's a recreational complex on campus. So that has a gym with different workout equipment. There's squash courts and also a basketball court. And there's also a variety of interesting talks on campus. So we have faculty who live in the residence and will run an event every few weeks. We have guest speakers from the community, or sometimes the tutors will come up and speak or put on a piano performance. So there's often so many things and so many options going on campus every day that it can be a little overwhelming, but it's also just a wonderful, wonderful thing. We are a small campus, so if you cannot find a club or group that interests you, you can initiate it. And we've seen this in the spring term. Some of our exchange students were part of this event called Mondial, which was a month-long celebration of international diversity. And they were part of bringing that to Quest, which was really great. Or they also initiated a farewell dinner for the whole campus. So if there's something that you can't find something for yourself, you can always bring something to Quest. It's a very open place, and there's a lot of opportunities for that. Again, the academics, you're going to experience phenomenal academics while here at Quest, but you go on exchange as well to meet people and share new experiences. So I highly, highly encourage you to be open and get involved while you're here. A few notes about the campus. We're located at the top of a hill on the edge of Garibaldi Provincial Park. So we're basically surrounded by forest, and we're quite high up on a hill. So we have breathtaking views, an amazing network of trails for mountain biking, running, or hiking right at your doorstep. But on the flip side, it can be a little isolated up here, and it's a bit of a bubble being on the top of the hill. The nearest store or restaurants are a 5-minute drive away or about a 35-minute walk. We do have transit in Squamish, so buses do come up here, but they only actually come to campus about twice a day, and buses only come every hour to the neighborhood, so they're not very frequent, and it can be a challenge to get around. We do offer free weekly shuttles, so Quest shuttles into town on Tuesday, and so if you need to get groceries or go down the hill to grab anything, that's a great resource to use. And there's also a Facebook page for ride shares, so if you're looking to get down the hill, you could always post to that, but be prepared that, yeah, we are not in a bit more of an isolated place, but it is very beautiful. And life in Squamish. Squamish is an amazing town. There's only about 20,000 people that live here, and the main attractions really do surround the outdoor recreational activities. Squamish is the outdoor recreational capital of Canada, and there are so many different outdoor activities that you can do here. There's also just an amazing amount of adventures right at your doorstep. So just behind Quest, we have Garibaldi Provincial Park, and if you hike up 3 hours, you get to this beautiful cabin by what's called Elfin Lakes, and there's just a whole variety of hikes to different glaciers up there. You can do a day hike to the Chief, which is the second largest rock in the world and offers a spectacular view of Howe Sound and the ocean and Squamish, and there's just so much more. So we do conduct a lot of local programs, and I always invite the exchange students, and I encourage you, try to get out as much as possible and experience what Squamish has to offer. Whistler, which is an internationally renowned place where they held the Olympics in 2010, it's only a 45 minutes down the road from Squamish. You can get there by frequent buses, or sometimes they will have Quest shuttles that go there during Saturdays in the winter when ski season's opened up. If you are interested in skiing or snowboarding, ski season normally starts during the 3rd week of November, and you get really good discounts if you are a student. A few other notes about Squamish. It rains a lot in Squamish, particularly in November, so make sure you have a good rain jacket when you come out here. Hopefully in September you'll get to experience some of the beautiful summer weather that it has to offer. And then October will transition into the fall, which is when the leaves start changing, and it's a very beautiful time to be here. Normally we do not get much snow in Squamish, or generally it might snow 2 days of the year in the winter. So in December I would expect the average high is around 5 degrees. You don't necessarily need winter gear for Squamish, but if you want to go exploring in Whistler or go skiing or snowboarding, you should bring out some winter gear. And if you don't have it, you might be able to find some at our campus Reuse It Center. And Vancouver is only an hour drive south from Squamish, so it's really nice. We're sandwiched between Whistler and Vancouver. It's a wonderful city, and it's really easy to get around. They have very frequent transit down there, so it's a great place to visit if you want to feel like you're back in the city. And another note is Vancouver Island is also accessible by ferry from Vancouver. So if you're planning some block break trips, a trip to Victoria, BC would be a great one to go to. Or one of my favorites is Tofino and Euclid, which is on the west side of the island with beautiful old growth forest, a great destination for surfing and endless beaches. So you might want to give those places a Google and start thinking about some of the trips. And there's often many students going to these places on block break, so you can always tag along. And one more thing before I turn things over to Judith, I just want to make you aware we have a portal page. So if you're ever looking for information, if you just go onto the portal, go to Services, click on International Students, and go to Incoming Exchanges, this should have most of the information that has been covered here today. So if you ever need a reference point, I recommend checking out the portal first. And if that doesn't answer your question, feel free to email me or simply just post to our Facebook page so that maybe everyone has the same question. So that's a nice way to share with the group. So what I'm going to do now is pass things over to Judith, and she'll talk about her experience here, and then you'll see me one more time to wrap this up and answer any questions that you might have. So we have Judith right beside me, so I'll come on in.
Hi, so I'm Judith. I'm from Amsterdam, and I've been here since January. I'll just quickly talk about my experience here, which was super awesome and amazing. This is also why I'm still here. It's actually summer, so there are only like 40 people on campus right now, including me. So I came here in January, and there was actually a lot of snow in Squamish when we came here. So I hope you can get to see that a little bit, but just like Will said, that's not sure. There is snow around, like a lot actually. So if you want to do the hikes around Squamish, which I strongly encourage, you will definitely come upon snow because the mountains are just super high. So snowshoeing and that kind of stuff, snow camping. We did it all. It's super amazing. Yeah, I lived in Riverside, which was really nice with 5 other people. But like all the residences here are super, super nice and social places. One of my friends lived in Osa, so in the peaks, and he had the most amazing kitchen group of people just always hanging out together in the kitchen. So I often went over there too to just chill with those people. Yeah, there's just so much to tell, so I'm kind of thinking what I want to tell first. There's so many amazing things. I think I'll start with just like the block plan because just like Will said, it's pretty intense. I had to get used to it a lot because it goes so fast. So like essays in the first week, readings on the first day, a lot of readings and like hours of readings. But what I really like about the block plan, especially for exchange students, is that you're with one class every day. So it's really nice. It's a really nice opportunity to get to know people. Really good, like in the first week already, because you're just with the same people and you're stuck with your readings, your homework and your group work. So it's really nice actually. Also, it really allows to go deep into the subject, but it's a lot of work. I do remember my friend Kelly, who went to Quest last year. She told me that Quest, and especially like the block plan, it's as if you're experiencing finals all the time, but at the same time, it's one of the most relaxing experiences too. It sounds really weird, but you have to experience it. It's really nice. And then one of the most stressful things for me was not necessarily the block plan or like the essays and deadlines, but more that there's so much going on campus that you have to choose where you want to go to. There are like dinners and potlucks and intramural games and other amazing events like every day, and there are multiple of them, so you really have to schedule, okay, I want to go here and here, and sometimes you have to choose for something and then you think, oh, I wanted to go to the other thing too. So yeah, that's kind of the hardest thing about Quest, but it's also a positive thing, I guess.
And then, do you have any advice?
Any advice? Yeah, I've thought about this. That's a hard question because I came up with all these cliches and stuff. I think you will all know how to get around like meeting new people. But one thing that really helped for me when I came here was that I organized a couple of potlucks with my roommates and just like dinners. And I think it's always really good to have something food related because people will always come and it's a great way to like have a first chat with people. But the people here are super nice and open initially already. Like my first 2 hours, I was already invited to people's places and it's really easy to make friends here. So like my advice would be organize a potluck if you want to get to know people, but it's not really hard.
And any spots in the area you would recommend traveling to? Because I know you ended up going on a really cool trip.
Yeah, so I have been traveling a lot around Squamish during the semester and I've done like most of the hikes around here that I really recommend doing. But I think the Adventure Club will take you there if you want to go, or like there are always people going. And then when like the summer break started, which was at the beginning of May, I guess, I went to Seattle and Portland and Vancouver with some exchange friends, and we stayed with Quest people, and that's really cool. So if you have some time, I would definitely go down those cities too. They're really interesting American cities with a really cool vibe, kind of hipster vibe, lots of good coffee. So that was really nice. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. And you should check out the climbing gym. That's really nice. In like we have one on campus, which is very busy every night, and we have one downtown too. I spend a lot of time there. Great people.
That's awesome. Sweet.
Yeah. Really.
Cool.
Thank you very much.
Well, thank you very much.
Yeah, you're welcome. I'm always happy to talk about Quest.
Great. So I'm just going to see if we have any questions that come in. And it doesn't look like we have any questions. So I just want to say thank you again for attending, and thank you for Judith for taking some time out of her day on a beautiful sunny day in Squamish to come talk about her experience here. Hopefully you can catch her enthusiasm and excitement, and I'm really excited to welcome you here in the fall, and I hope that you all have such a great experience just like Judith has had here. If you have any questions, I recommend that you check the portal page or post them to the Facebook page, and if they're specific to you, feel free to shoot me an email. And I also encourage you, if you've yet to do so, please post your introduction to our Incoming Exchange Facebook page, because it's a great chance to get to know who's coming in and who will be some of the people we get to know next term. So thank you again for attending, and I sincerely look forward to welcoming you here on Wednesday, August 31st, and have a wonderful summer. See ya.